Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Higher Consciousness. Today we have another pick a card reading, which I'm super excited to get into. It's what blessings are coming for you in December 2020. So before we get started with today's reading, I want to talk about an opportunity that I've been working towards with my partner this December 2020. For the past 2 years, this will be our third year, our third annual tournament for toys. We're going to be holding our third annual basketball tournament, and it's in our community of the Lower Brule Sioux tribe. During this tournament, we give out kids' toys to our community. And this year is going to be a little bit different because of the COVID measures. Of course, we're already cutting down the amount of spectators that are going to be there. We're keeping all the teams local. If you want to learn more about our tournament and the safety measures that we are taking, you can find out more information down below, as well as a live video. You can tune in for the tournament through a live stream video. Find out more down below in the comments. So the reason why I'm explaining this tournament to you is because this video is an opportunity to give some donations to make the tournament possible, to make the kids receiving toys possible. So if you are interested in giving towards this opportunity, please see the descriptions, the links down below. Our PayPal for this project is paypal.me/hconsciousness. So that's all lowercase, no spaces, paypal.me/hconsciousness. Or we have the Venmo. Venmo is at higher-consciousness. Higher is spelled with a capital H, dash, consciousness is spelled with a capital C. Also, please stay tuned for 2 donation yoga classes. The classes are being offered, of course, and donations are also going towards the tournament as well as the kids' toys. So if you're interested in checking out those yoga classes, the first one is going to be via Zoom. It's going to be on December 10th at 5:30 p.m. and that's going to be on Zoom. So I'll be sending you a link. If you're interested, please check out the Facebook page down below, Higher Consciousness Facebook events, and we will stay tuned on that event as well as the second event. If Zoom isn't your thing, you can check out the number 2, my YouTube channel. I'm going to be uploading a yoga video on Sunday, December 12th at noon. And from then on until day after Christmas is when the tournament is. Any donations sent in are going towards getting kids toys and putting on Tournament for Toys. I really appreciate your help. We greatly appreciate your help so much. And thank you so much for thinking of our friends, our families, our extended community during this time of year. Thank you so much for thinking of us, for thinking of them. We greatly appreciate it. The more you give, the more you receive. So abundance is coming to you. Thank you so much. Now, without further ado, let's hop into the video to find out what blessings are coming for you this December 2020. All right. Hello everyone, thank you for joining. Thank you for sitting through my introduction. So for today's reading, we have on pile number 1, we have a piece of Snowflake Obsidian. Pile number 2, we have a piece of Rose Quartz. Pile number 3, we have a piece of Titanium Infused Quartz. And on pile number 4, we have a piece of Petrified Wood. So go ahead and pause the video, meditate on the cards, on the piles for a moment, and pick to see what blessings are coming for you December 2020. Hello, pile number 1. If you chose our obsidian with snowflakes on it, our snowflake obsidian, then this pile reading is for you. To get started, we have our past, present, and future cards coming out. King of Cups as past, Five of Pentacles as present and Knight of Swords as our future. So getting us starting to know who you are and what is going on in this moment. We have our timeline, King of Cups. You have felt very comfortable, very abundant. You felt like things were kind of made, but then little did you know there was a potential for haphazards, dangers around you, but you have gone with the flow, eased your way into it. You found abundance. With the Five of Pentacles, this is, I mean, the imagery is just so relevant to what is going on right now with our December reading. So Five of Pentacles, perhaps you're feeling a little scarce right now. Perhaps you felt very abundant in the past, and right now you're kind of wondering, how am I going to make it through? How am I going to make it through this holiday season? But the answer is just knowing that everything you need is already within you and around you. Your friends and family won't let you stay out there. You are abundant. You have the resources. All you need to do is acknowledge them, reach out to them. Knight of Swords in our future, we're moving towards a very fast pace. So while things have felt kind of relaxed and kind of concerning, over here in the future, things are picking up. We're picking up the pace. I mean, 2020, 2021 is going to come like that. So this is what that card could indicate, is just this rapid transition coming up into your life in the near future. Let's get some clarifying cards to understand what this means. We have the Wise Leadership card coming up. And so what this means is that you are a natural leader. And of course that would come up for group number one. Pile number one, group one tends to be a leader. So Spirit is acknowledging your leadership. Spirit is saying to make very wise decisions and to use your status, use your affiliations and the people that you network with. Spirit is saying that you are a natural leader and that you need to use this skill wisely, that you are responsible for interactions between people. You are responsible for your own progression and advancement. You are a leader, and when you use your skills wisely, you're going to create even more abundance. We have the Focus card coming up. And I really love that card, especially because right now is a time of transition. And right now is a time where we kind of we naturally want to relax because we want to be cozy, we want to be inside and comfortable, but we can't let go of the focus. We can't let go of that passion, that drive, that energy that moves us forward. And you have very fast moving energy coming up in the near future. So it's very important to stay focused on the goals, staying focused on the process so that you can accomplish those goals, so that we're moving at an efficient pace and not a jump the gun sort of movement. So staying focused is a goal for you this December 2020. We have the Boundaries card coming up. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? Maybe this relates to our Five of Pentacles. Maybe you're feeling like you've been giving and receiving in unequal sort of ways, and that can happen sometimes. So Spirit is saying to ask yourself, where can you place boundaries that are going to be most beneficial to you and to all involved? Thinking of our Five of Pentacles, how we're currently feeling, we don't want to feel this scarcity mindset anymore. An easy way to ditch the scarcity mindset and get back in control is by setting boundaries. Nonetheless, you are a spiritual being, and perhaps maybe you're even a life path 11. Maybe you chose pile 1 because you have a life path 11 perhaps. Maybe 1 was the closest thing you could get to your life path number. This is coming up right here because oftentimes the Pleiades card, usually when I'm giving readings, it has come up many a times for life path 11s. So I just wanted to throw that out there. The Pleiades card is a reminder that you are a spiritual being. You are not completely of this earth, of this plane. You're called here for a higher purpose, for humanity's evolution. So if you're ever feeling kind of stuck in the physical realm, if you're ever feeling kind of stuck, just remind yourself that you are a spirit. You are a spiritual person. You are an ascended, a descended spirit here to ascend humanity. Thinking of how you can apply and channel in that spiritual energy. We have the lightning power coming through. And this is letting me know that you're a very powerful person, and this ties in very much so to the Knight of Swords. Perhaps you're coming into power. Perhaps you're coming into the fast-moving energy, and perhaps that fast-moving energy can be equivalent to lightning. Very fast, rapid-moving energy. Lightning strikes. All it takes is one lightning strike to make a big difference, to make a big impact. So maybe you're building up your energies while you're inside this season. Maybe you're building up your energy to make our very fast, rapid movement. Perhaps you're preparing for an event in the new year. Perhaps it's coming up in the new year or the next future months, whether it's online, whether it's in person and you're waiting for the weather to change. Whatever is coming up, it's going to happen very rapidly, and you're kind of conserving your energy. Maybe you can be meditating right now. Maybe you can be establishing your boundaries, withdrawing within temporarily. Meanwhile, maintaining your connection so you're not feeling isolated. Maintaining those connections, building your intentions to grow towards this very rapid, fast-moving event. Maybe you can manifest very much in one time, one strike, after setting your intentions and reviewing areas that need to be worked upon. We have the Wolf card, this Instinct card coming up, and this is saying that you have the knowledge already within you. You have instincts that are coming up, and these instincts are serving you for the good as well as serving you for the bad. For example, our natural instincts oftentimes are our survival instincts. These are our instincts that help us to stay alive. It's normal that you'd want to feel kind of impulsive when something comes up that's very rapid moving, requiring a lot of energy, requiring a lot of thought process. It's normal that you have this instinct coming up, but this card is saying to look past that immediate animal instinct response and think about how a very wise animal would act. Because this lone wolf here, I mean, we know that wolves are a pack animal. They live with a pack, yet this wolf dares to go out on its own, and it's all we can see in this picture. So if you're going to survive very well on your own, if you're going to take projects on your own, if you're going to be the leader that you truly are as a pile number one, as pile one, recognized with the wise leadership, you are a natural leader. In order for you to take upon all those leadership goals and characteristics, you need to trust your instincts. You need to trust those animal instincts that come up within you, but not leave it to that. We just aren't just the bare minimum survival instincts. We are so much more. In our blood memory, we are given so much more knowledge than just the basic fight or flight responses. So Spirit is calling you to take insights on some of those insights that are serving you, on some of those instincts that are serving you, some of that knowledge that has been handed down, blood memory. Acknowledge of those instincts that live within you, letting them surface in the new activity that's going to be very fast moving, building up in the still moment, setting intentions and acting with purpose, acting with power. I have our clarifying cards coming up here. I've pulled from the astrology arcana, so I want to give some clarifying ones here for us. We have the Scorpio card coming up in the 3rd house. Scorpio tends to be a water sign. It tends to be more about emotion, but what separates Scorpio from the other water signs that exist in the zodiac is that Scorpio is oftentimes about ending something. It's about ending before we begin anew. It oftentimes comes at the time of fall, which usually is indicative of the endings. The trees lose their leaves. So this could be an indicator that something is kind of ending, perhaps some cycle of your life, perhaps an area of your life where you can see some room for improvement and you're deciding to end a bad habit that is no longer serving you. Perhaps that's what this is referring to, with it tied into the 3rd house of communications. This is usually tying into like Gemini, communication, Mercury. So we want to pay attention here with the 3rd house, how we're communicating to other people and how we're communicating on more of a surface level, because the 3rd house is more of a surface level of rapid communication. It's more short term, whereas more long-term communication would be like the 11th house, would be a different sort of technological sort of sense of communication. So perhaps we want to think about how we're interacting with other people, and perhaps we also want to think about how our leadership skills and how our instincts might be kind of like clouding us and the perception to see from a more personal, independent sort of perspective. And you're being called here to see more from a collective perspective, to see from the other person's perspective, putting yourself in their shoes, perhaps listening more to them, because right now some of the emotions and the personal things that we're feeling are interfering with the message they're trying to share with you. And it doesn't require a lot of time. This is short-term communication. This is just simply identifying the way that we're interacting with other people and improving our ways of interacting with other people, so that we can better serve ourselves, so that we can better serve others, so that we can become more in touch with our emotional selves, and so that we can share and communicate those emotions in a healthy and effective way. Thank you so much, pile number 1, for joining today's reading. I really hope you enjoyed the reading. If you did, please like and subscribe down below, and please also feel free to donate for kids' toys for our community of the Lower Brule Sioux Tribe. Details down below. Thank you so much. Bye. Hello, group number 2. If you chose the piece of rose quartz, then this reading is for you. So let's find out what is coming for you in December 2020. What blessings are coming for pile number 2? We have our past, present, and future cards coming out to get an understanding of who you are and what we're going through right now. We have the 8 of Wands card. In the past, you've felt this very fast-moving energy, this sort of like natural call. This call to be in nature, this call to explore. You've answered the call. You've gone out and about. You've gone out on a whim where your spirit has guided you. You've answered the call. You've gone exploring. So group number 2 has gone exploring, and now we have this stage of like a new beginning. It's almost as if we've gone out and explored the world. Maybe you've moved to other states. Maybe you've gone on a big road trip in the past. Maybe whatever you've done, you have gone somewhere physically And from that travel, from that experience, you are now finding an intention. You're finding a reason to do the projects that you're doing, to take an interest and partake in the things that you are interested in. So with this Ace of Swords card, this is really like a call to action. This is like a beginning of a journey. This is setting your intentions. However, there is this sort of like edge. There's a sharp edge. There's something kind of intimidating about it, depending on who you are and the person. But just knowing that there's a journey that lies ahead of you. I mean, there's mountains here in the background. This is the start of a journey. This is setting your intentions for a potentially difficult or challenging journey, maybe a lengthy journey, but right now you're setting intentions to take that journey. In the future, we have the Hierophant. And what's different about this deck that I'm using, the Modern Witch Tarot, is it kind of sees the Hierophant in a different sort of sense. So usually in tarot decks, the Hierophant is more of like a scary, intense energy. Usually it's more like, gotta be this way, rules, society, gotta be this way. But in this case, the Hierophant is more about wisdom. It's more about Western education sources. It's about like academia. It's about like institutions, universities, higher education. That's what the Hierophant is in this case. Because as you can see, there's a couple people watching her performance, and they're trying to earn one of those keys. They're trying to earn the key so that they can unlock the secrets to the way the world works. That's the role of the Hierophant in this case. This is what you're moving towards in the future. This is what you're growing into. So perhaps you're at the start of this journey now, and perhaps you're finding that those intentions you're setting happen to align with some sort of higher education, some sort of law, policy, some sort of power in this 3D realm. So you're finding your intentions for the start of this journey. You're going to be building towards acquiring more knowledge and acquiring more status and ability to move and shape the society that we're living in. And I wanted to get some clarifiers for this message here, so I've drawn some extra cards. We have the Beauty card coming up. Beauty is coming up, and beauty, of course, is in the eye of the beholder. But you being a group number 2, I have this feeling that you're either in like a partnership already, or that you may be searching. You may have a very good relationship with yourself. So in this case, beauty is already surrounding you. The partner that you're with already sees you as beautiful. You have grown yourself. You've grown in a relationship with yourself. Even you see yourself as beautiful. And if you don't, here is a message just for you right now. You are beautiful. So don't forget it. You're beautiful. You are a natural creation of Creator, of the Great Spirit. And you should recognize that and own it. In this case, though, since it is referring to December 2020, I'm thinking that beauty is the sort of lens that you're going to need to make it through this time. So again, you're at the start of a journey. You've got a long road to go because you've got high goals of being able to shape society and move things. So in order to get started with that journey, we want to start out acknowledging the skills that we already possess within us. You are beautiful. Beauty is one of your natural characteristics. Honor that. Focus on it. Enlighten yourself with it. Let it be the passion that starts you, the foundation that serves for you to grow on your journey. Is just simply seeing things, seeing the beauty in things, especially at the start of a journey. We have communion coming up, Communion, I feel, is a place to recognize the journey that we're going to be moving into. Communion being more of a reference to a particular moment in time, a moment in which you feel connected to Source, a moment when it can be either intentionally happening, it can be like, say, some sort of spiritual or religious event that you feel enlightened and connected, or it can just be sitting down, meditating, tapping into the creative powers within. Whatever way you will be experiencing your communion, just letting yourself being open to it and finding divine answers and guidance from that moment. Because when we see things in a beautiful perspective, we're already allowing in those divine messages and guidance to come in, to shine through, to be the light to our soul, to fill our aura with such power and emphasis. So let that moment of connection with the spiritual plane, with your greater self, let the moment that's going to be coming up, embrace the moment. Look for divine answers and guidance in that moment, and recognize when that moment is, because it can happen in an unprepared time. It can happen at any moment. So just be prepared for the moment that it does come in. Be prepared to receive messages. You have the priestess card, which is upside down. So this is saying, this is really calling on to divine feminine energy and acknowledging how you're being called to step up and lead. With this priestess card being upside down, I feel like you've been given a task to do. And I feel that task is relating to the divine feminine. As a number 2, you are more aware that you have these dualities, that you have a divine masculine side and a divine feminine side in both the left and the right hemispheres of the body. So with that acknowledgement, you just want to be extra careful that you are equal on both sides. Since this is talking about the priestess being upside down, this is a call to focus more on divine feminine energy. And this can tie in very well with the beauty card, since beauty is a divine feminine characteristic. We want to correlate the two, connect the two, take the time to tap into your divine feminine self, owning that self and all the characteristics of being a divine feminine. So maybe it means to do your makeup for a little bit longer. Maybe it means to do things with grace and with elegance, to be a receiver. Maybe you just want to be soft and receive, like sort of like a cat-like energy, where cats just receive abundance just by blessing the space with their presence. So you want to be more like the divine feminine. You want to call upon divine feminine guidance in order to start your journey, in order to find balance, which is a basic foundation in order to begin your journey. But yes, you are prepared. Yes, just say yes. This is perfect because you are starting out the journey. You've maybe made some excuses in the past as to why not, why you can't do the journey, and I understand if it's education related, if it's work related, if it's entrepreneurship related, all of those things can be super scary. They're huge journeys, but you are being called by your guides just to say yes. You have everything that's needed within you. All that's needed is to find balance. Call upon that divine feminine energy. Receive, let yourself receive. We don't need to be working so hard. We don't need to be slaving away. If we are overpowered by the divine masculine energy, then we're giving out so much, giving and giving and giving, and not receiving in return. So finding that balance, just saying yes, No longer finding excuses that are holding you up from your dreams and your desires. Just say yes. We have the wake-up call coming in, just confirming everything that was just said, that you're at the start of a journey. You're having this wake-up call right now. This wake-up call could very well be to balance the divine feminine. This wake-up call could be related to being able to say yes now to some of those opportunities you have previously turned down, put off on the back burner. Whatever you have done, now is the time to face it. December 2020 is a time of transition. If it is related to academics, you can go to school next semester. December is a time of transition. If it is a weight loss plan that you fell off on in 2020, now is the time. You can wake up. You can wake yourself up and be aware about what it is you're putting in your body. You can make those changes. So answering that wake-up call is part of your transformation in December 2020. Letting yourself be vulnerable. I know it's scary. Being vulnerable like a meadow is really scary because everyone can see you for miles. But the difference is that we're going to go out in this meadow now, and we're going to go out with intention and purpose. We're going to have our eyes set on the big picture so that we don't feel so vulnerable or so scared out in the meadow, so that we can see the beauty that lies within the meadow. Instead of seeing it as scary, we're going to see the beauty. We're going to see the divine feminine in it. Enjoy that time in the meadow. Enjoy the time in the spotlight. And what did I say about finding dualities? This is too perfect, especially because you chose the pile number 2, which is already about dualities in partnerships. And I did not plan this out on purpose. This is just wonderful. We have the solar eclipse card coming up and the lunar eclipse. So total opposites. While the solar eclipse may be related more like to the meanings of a new moon times 10, lunar eclipse might be related on the far spectrum of like the full moon. It happens at a time of the full moon. It happens at the full moon and it magnifies the manifestations of the full moon. So this is not just like the new moon and the full moon. This is like the new moon characteristics times 10 plus the full moon characteristics times 10. It's like our extreme dualities here. So again, what I was saying about balancing the divine feminine here, we might have felt for a long time that we were like completely full moon. Full moon is more like masculine. If like the moon as a whole is feminine, but if we were to talk about the stages of the moon cycles, full moons are more like masculine energy, intense energy moving forward in the 3D plane. And new moons are more about like repressed energy, feelings within, internal feelings, receptive energies. New moon is more feminine of the moon cycles. So again, you're being called to balance out the masculine and the feminine energies. Again, you've been moving very rapidly in the past. You've been moving very rapidly, which is more of a masculine sort of characteristic to do. We slow things down like we're doing right now. We're going to slow things down so that we can set our intentions and answer the call. So we're going to set our intentions now. We're going to balance out the divine feminine energies so that we can move into the new in a more holistic, balanced sense of being. All right, group number 2, I hope that this reading helped. If you did enjoy it, please like and subscribe down below. Please stay tuned for more videos, more content. And also, if you are able to give, please look down below in order to give for our toys, our tournament for toys, for our children's toys this holiday season. Take care. Bye. Hello, group number 3. If you chose our titanium infused piece of quartz, then this reading is for you to find out what is coming for you in December 2020. So to get an understanding of who you are, where we're at right now, and where we're going, we have our past, present, and future cards coming out. In the past, we have the Six of Pentacles represented, and the Six of Pentacles is like this very giving nature about you. In the past, you have given. So you might have received a large amount of abundance, or you just might have a very abundant mindset where you just see that you have what is needed around you, and you're able to manifest those things to provide for others. The only thing about this is that perhaps this could have also been a learning lesson for you. Perhaps you could have found some way to balance, which totally makes sense because in the present we have the Justice card, which is balance. So maybe from the past you've received a lot, and at the same time you gave a lot. So now we're moving into balance. We're finding perhaps some of those things that we didn't need to give away, perhaps that maybe was a little excessive, or we can find some of the things that perhaps we shouldn't have done. Perhaps maybe we shouldn't have been charged for some of those things. Perhaps we are learning from those past experiences and the things that we've invested in that did or didn't work. We're finding balance in this present moment from our past giving and receiving. And finding this balance is allowing us to see just how many options that we truly have. Seven of Cups is talking about all these different pathways, all these different aspects of self that you could go down. It's talking about investing ourselves emotionally in these different aspects of life. And so when we're moving from a place of balance into new opportunities, we want to set the intentions very well. We want to find balance in this moment by kind of looking a few months ahead down the road. And not only looking at a few months down the road, but asking ourselves if that is truly what's going to feel good with us, what's going to resonate in the heart chakra few months in the future. So while we're looking at our options for the future, finding presence and balance in this moment, we have some further cards to indicate what exactly is going on, what's coming for you December 2020. We have the communication card coming up. So you're being called to communicate or to receive messages. And this kind of communication I feel is very spiritual, because this woman here has like these golden auras around her, and she has like rainbows, like prisms under her eyes. And I'm getting this sense that this kind of communication is spiritual, like you have a message from spirit just waiting to be received, and you have some sort of mission to share this message from spirit with others. So this is very interesting, because communication in a 3D sense is more about communicating with others. But in this case in particular, I'm getting this idea that communication is not limited to the 3D realm, that communication is also expanded out for you, group number 3. Group number 3 is often related in a master number sense. Add another 3 and we get 33. So I get the sense that I'm going to include that in this reading, because some of you could be life path 33s and you could be receiving energy from a spiritual sense, from like a guide or an ancestor. So being aware of the communication and in what forms it's coming through, not being limited to what is known as communication in this 3D realm is all I'm trying to say. We have the knowledge card coming up, And I just love that so much because I feel like it's related to our upper chakras. It's related very much to this higher vibrational frequency. When we have knowledge, knowledge is power. How many times have we heard that in our school settings? Knowledge is power. But it's true. We can never hear that too much. Never have too much knowledge, because there's an infinite amount of knowledge in the world. There's so much to know, and there's so much that is found by simply observing, and not only observing, but by being actively engaged in the moment, by asking questions, daring to ask questions, daring to explore. So your guides are asking you to dive in, find the answers for the questions that have been coming up into your mind lately, because your guides say that ancestors have something to share with you. They have a message for you, and you're going to receive the message by connecting the dots from looking up information on various topics. When you piece it together, you're going to connect the dots, and the message from your guides is going to become very clear. Leap, you go first. The universe will catch you. What I love about the visuals in this is that there's a contrast of this heavy rock, this like solid foundation, and she's leaping. She's doing like the opposite of that solid foundation. She's moving up. She's like moving through the air. And I really love that, because you've been building a solid foundation for a while. If you take a look back here, you've been building a solid foundation. You've been like checking out all of your options. You've been finding balance. You've been learning from past experiences. You have built a solid foundation. You are prepared to leap. You are prepared to transcend this physical realm, which you have mastered so well. You are ready to transcend into higher consciousness, into greater, more spiritual enlightenment. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Of course these are connected. Of course they've been sending you messages, your guides and ancestors. Once again, when you dare to go about and look for the knowledge pieces, this is going to become very clear what Spirit is trying to say, what Spirit is trying to tell you. All you need to do is connect the dots. Find your epiphany through knowledge. Find this epiphany that Spirit is talking about through knowledge, through communication, through daring to take a risk, because through those risks is when we make experiences, is when we either gain something, we gain something from it, it was successful, or if it doesn't work out, then we learn one way it doesn't work and we don't try it again. So dare to take the risk, dare to explore, dare to answer the call. Yet ironically, we have the cave sanctuary card coming in. And while lots of you may be thinking like, oh, cave, oh, that's more like stagnant, it's more like within. And yes, while that is true, what I'm getting this feeling is that since you chose pile 3, I'm getting the sense that you've done a lot of experiencing already in this lifetime, and I'm getting a sense that you're going on like a spiritual journey, a journey within. And that's why the cave is being referenced, because you're journeying, you're still answering the call and journeying, but you're journeying in more of like a 5D, a 5-dimensional sense rather than a 3D sense. So you might need to park your body, like literally park your body to meditate and to look for answers within, where the cave metaphor comes in. You might need to park your 3D body in order to be able to explore in 5D. So that's what I'm getting from this sanctuary, is like having that solid foundation for the 3D body so that it can go above and beyond and start exploring in the more higher realms of consciousness. Something else I want to note with this cave is that there's this really beautiful cave metaphor that comes up in a lot of like cultural understandings. So when I was in school, we talked about caves as like the allegory of the cave. You should totally look it up. What it means is that there were these individuals inside of a cave, and say that they were this man here, they were looking at the wall. Well, on the wall, they saw like visualizations, they saw things, shadow figures on the wall, and it looked like people were walking by, moving around. And so what did they think? They're like, oh, the shadows are moving on the wall, there must be someone walking by, or they must be doing this and that. And so they looked at the wall, they figured that that's what it was. But then one person dared to get up and move. They stopped looking at just that one perspective of where they were sitting and facing the wall, and they actually got up and walked around. And shortly after, they found that what they saw on the wall was in fact just a piece of the puzzle and not what was actually happening. What could have actually been happening is that they had different like figures, like say on the wall they saw what was like looking like an alien or something. Then they come to find out that it's really just someone dressed up wearing these like extra art pieces to make it look like it was an alien. So it's like that one person who dares to get up and see from the other perspective, to explore the whole cave, to find higher ground, to look into the fire, to see what is illuminated by the fire, and not just to base their life off what they see on the cave wall. That allegory, that metaphor has been so meaningful to me, so insightful. So perhaps from this retreat within, perhaps then is something you can also explore, is that you're going to see from the 3D perspective, because that's literally what is right in front of your face. You're going to see it. Everyone is going to see it. But the greater answers, the greater meanings found in life are going to happen when you start to explore the cave. The cave can be a metaphor for the subconscious. When we just don't take the cave for surface value, and when we dive in and explore it, explore the subconscious, figure out the ways that the subconscious ticks and works. That's what the cave, I feel like, is truly about. And what a better time to do it than during the winter months, than during our time of December. What a great time to retreat within, to see from other perspectives. We have our mountain card upside down. And so from this being upside down, I'm getting the sense that you either accomplished like a huge hurdle recently, and that's why it's upside down, or it's just kind of like irrelevant. And Spirit is saying like, hey, don't look at this mountain right now, focus on the cave. So I'm getting like 1 or 2 messages of the mountain being upside down. If we really want to dive into it, we get a sense of dualities, a sense of like completion. Like if we just conquered a big old mountain, and this makes total sense because it's the end of the year. A lot of things are naturally resolved by the end of a year, right? Especially if we're going by the sense of like, by work or by school, a lot of things complete at the end of the year. There's usually like a winter break. So during this time, it's like you're accomplishing a big hurdle. You're moving mountains. You have moved mountains, and now you're being called to look within, to gain more perspective by looking within, which is kind of ironic, right? Because usually from the top of the mountain, that's when people usually think that they're gaining insight, because it literally is a point, and people think that when they're at the top of the mountain, they're gaining insight. And I definitely still feel that. I totally feel that. Like, insight is gained at the top of the mountain, most definitely. But that's the way that people often think. Spirit wants you to see from a different perspective. They want you to move beyond the 3D realm and start to see with the heart, with the gut instincts, to look within to gain even more perspective. So your call is to look within, is to transcend this physical world. It's to know that even though there's physical things you can accomplish in this lifetime, that your greatest drive is going to happen by channeling spirit from within. We have some verification cards coming up here from our astrology, our arcana of astrology cards coming up, and I definitely had to look up what Ceres was. We know the new moon is talking about a time of new. It's a time of rebirth. It's a time of planting seeds to grow new seeds. So this comes up end of year, December 2020. This is a time of transformation. And at the time that I'm filming this, it's also the time that our last full moon is now waning. And we're going to be seeing a new moon. So focusing also when the new moon does come up this December 2020, this is a good time to set your intentions, and maybe by then you'll have seen some more perspective within so that you can set new intentions for the next full moon. Ceres is an asteroid, and this asteroid is actually about like motherhood. It's about like how you were raised as a child and how you treat yourself now, as if because right now you've most likely, you're watching this, you're probably an adult or at least like a late teen or teen. So at this point, you're kind of contrasting where you've been in the past and how you were raised as a child. And you can contrast and compare how you treat yourself now. Is there any difference? Is there an improvement? Because there should definitely be an improvement. Even if someone treated you wonderfully as a child, even if your parents, grandparents treated you wonderfully, there's still room to have improvement. There's room for self-nurturing. So take this time to nurture yourself. Take this time to forgive anyone in the past that maybe has wronged you. Take this time to nurture yourself, plant new seeds, and grow those new seeds. I hope this helped group number 3. If it did, please like and subscribe down below. If you have a chance to give, thank you so much for giving to our Children's Toys fundraiser. Please see the details down below. I hope to see you again soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, group number 4. If you chose the piece of petrified wood, then this reading is for you to find out what is coming for you this December 2020. So let's get started with our past, present, and future cards to get an understanding of who you are and what is coming for you. We have 4 of Pentacles starting out as our past card. And wow, she is really clinging on to that pentacle there. She's definitely sitting in an abundance, but she's not recognizing or like owning the abundance that she's sitting in. I mean, she has like a nice jacket on, nice boots. She's in a city, so she has access to many resources, yet she's clinging on to this pentacle. So perhaps in the past, you've kind of clung on to what you had, not really realizing that when you give, you're bound to receive even more. Just being sure that you're investing in something good. So in the past, you might have considered investing in things, but you chose to hold on to what you had. So perhaps this happened for you in the past, and now in the present, you're abundant. You're actually like letting yourself feel more. You're starting to feel even more, but in this moment of feeling all these sensations, you can become kind of like caught up with this feeling, with the sensory experience, and you might be missing like the big picture, because in the future we have the Emperor card coming up. So I see this sense of like these are kind of duality cards next to each other, where this card is so much feeling, so much presence and sensory experience, and this one is like really tough and rigid. It's like not really allowing for much feeling. The river is shriveled up behind her. There's so much rigid, intense structure. So I'm getting this feeling that like you've had this relationship, this kind of weird relationship with what you have and what you let other people have. So it's like you've clinged on to things, you've let yourself started to feel things more, but in the past, if you don't, or in the future, if you don't let yourself find some structure with all the emotions you're feeling right now, you could become like the emperor. You could have a drastic, dualistic transition, and not necessarily in a completely good way. So this is like a warning sign right now that we need to have a little bit more structure with what's going on in life right now. We need to find solid pieces to casually float with. So we don't want to cling on to things, but we also don't want to go completely loose and let go. So you're being guided to find like a balance here. And the balance is not necessarily the emperor. The emperor is a very extreme, rigid thing. It's like if we went back here and we evolved the Four of Pentacles, we'd get the emperor. So it's kind of like our harsh dualities, our extremes. So you're being called to like sort of like level the playing field and to avoid this like intensely dualistic qualities taking part in your life. You have the New Beginnings card coming up here. And I love the new beginnings, especially for December 2020. This is naturally a time for new beginnings. And it's also a time that makes sense because as we've become aware now of these great emotions we're feeling, we're starting to get a sense of the big picture. We're starting to see that there are indeed new beginnings, that what we've become very comfortable with does require a new start. We have the miracles coming up. So your guides are saying that they have some miracles and blessings that they want to share with you. They're saying that there's no need to become really rigid in the future because you're going to receive more by maintaining that emotionally intuitive skill and nature of the Queen of Cups. So if you maintain the natural abundance of the Queen of Cups, then you're going to be receiving these miracles here very soon. You're going to receive them in many different ways. They could be coming about in your life. I don't know if you've had like some sort of like gift that you wanted that is going to be given to you this holiday season. I don't know if you're going to be given like a monetary abundance or like a life-bearing abundance, as if you become filled with life. Perhaps you have like some sort of family celebration happening for you. Whatever miracles may be, there's clearly a time of transformation and gift giving coming up in store for you. We have the Awakening card. Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So it's almost like you're receiving some insight and some messages. It's going to be coming to you as an awakening. So these three right next to each other are like too perfect, too like right for each other. And I really love that and appreciate it so much. After Awakening, we have the Crumbling coming up. What are you clinging on to? And I think that this definitely makes sense when we come back up here. So what I'm noticing again about these is like, this is a city, this is a city, this is an ocean. Right now, you're at an ocean. So Spirit is saying like, let go while you can. Because right now you're in a very relaxed state, you're in a flow state, you're in the perfect state to let go of the things that aren't serving you. You're in the perfect state to let go. So the crumbling can be super scary. The crumbling is very, very scary. But in overcoming this sacrifice, you're going to have to cut something out of your life that isn't serving you. And this can be kind of painful. But I just want to let you know right now, you can cut those cords in a very simplistic kind of way too. It all starts with intention. Energy follows intention. So right now, you could even do this right now while you're watching this. Bring your hands over your stomach, in front of your belly. Your belly is where you were once connected to your mother. And this cord is an energetic cord that attaches to other people you come in contact with. So ask yourself right now, who is it or what projects are there? What has been clinging on to your energy source and abusing that energy that it withdraws from it? What can we release that is not serving us? Maybe already someone's coming to mind, maybe some sort of project or some sort of consuming, like not 50-50 relationship, some sort of abuse of your power and energy. What is happening? Let's bring our hands in front of our stomach right now, and let's gently wave it in front of the belly. Gently cut the cord. Gently cutting the cord, that energy cord that's connected right now to someone else, to some other project. Let's gently cut the cord and affirming, I release that which no longer serves me. I am moving into the new. The new very well could be coming up in the summer solstice. The new can be coming up with the radiance, the sun coming out. So I don't know if this is talking about exactly in the summer. Perhaps it can be talking about the summer in your timeline. Perhaps it can just be talking about the next sunny day. Or perhaps during the summertime, things will be coming to light again. So right now, we might be kind of like experiencing a time of emotion and a time of loss. We're losing things so that we can make room for more positive things, more positive opportunities to grow in them. Because if you don't get rid of it right now, this could become you. This person who abuses power, who takes more than they need, this could become you if you continue to let yourself be manipulated, if you continue to let your emotions be manipulated. You could become the emperor yourself. Maybe you want that power, but there's healthier ways of getting there. So Spirit is guiding you towards a vision quest. They're saying that you have some answers that you're seeking, and that looking within, looking intentionally is when they're going to give you those answers. So looking with intention, asking. You have to ask a question in order to find the answers. You can't just like la 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 and like bam. I mean, for some people that happens, but Spirit is saying you in particular have to ask a question, have to set your intentions so that you can find the answer to that question. So Vision Quest is a part of your mission this December 2020. It's resetting your intentions. It's releasing that which isn't serving you. It's coming in balance with your emotions so that you can see results by the time that summer comes around, by the time that the sun comes back out and things are made to light. We want it to look balanced and at ease. We don't want to reveal the emperor when all of a sudden the lights come back on in the summer. We don't want to see the emperor that has been brooding all this time. There is time to make changes. We can make changes. Just letting you know, it's not too late. And that's what Spirit is saying. It's not too late. You can release those things. You can ask questions and be given answers. we have some clarifying cards coming up here. We have the sun coming up and the waning crescent moon. And I love the sun coming up again because it ties right into our summer solstice and our radiance. So there's like this definite indicator that truth is coming to you, that like the ego is very much related to the sun. So like in astrology, whatever house your sun sign is a huge part of your ego. So Spirit, is saying that you're going to be illuminated very soon. The truth is going to be seen. It's going to be felt, heard, living within you. So at this time, be prepared, because when you ask those questions, they're going to hit fast. You're going to be hit with light. And not necessarily in a bad way, but I'm just saying there's going to be some kind of loss with the crumbling and some sort of life path redirecting because of our future card. We're going to do some major transformation coming up here with the ego, with the identity, with the way that you see yourself and the way that others identify you. There's going to be a major transformation coming up. We have the end. The end is represented by the waning crescent moon. This is the last stage of the moon cycle before it becomes a new moon. So Spirit is saying something in it is ending. Maybe it's even ending right now with this reading. Maybe with that energy cord cutting that we just did, maybe you're literally feeling the end already. So we're feeling that end. We're cutting the cords, letting go of those things so that we can move into an enlightened future, a future full of truth, a future full of warmth, a future that illuminates the shadows, that moves them to the side, a future that isn't scared of the shadows, a future that can allow a person to illuminate what is around them so that they can make shadows disappear. That's the kind of power and potential Spirit is saying that you have right now. It's just going to be a time of loss. It's going to be for now. For now. It feels like the end for now, and that's because it is. It is, in a metaphysical sense, the end of something so that you can become full of truth, so that you can be illuminated. Thank you so much for joining this reading, pile number 3. I hope that this helped. If you enjoyed today's reading, please like and subscribe down below. Stay tuned for more content. If you feel like giving, please do. Thank you so much for helping our community by giving to our presence, our gift giving. So take care, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.